The brass industry is one of the oldest industries of Sri Lanka. Craftsmanship for the master artisans behind the spectacular pieces of brass find more than a trade, but view it as a part of their spiritual practice. This industry is one of the best examples where ancient tradition has prolonged for many generations amidst the contemporary norms and ways of life. This has made its mark to where it has caught the eye of not only the locals, but the tourists as well, who still collect these as home furnishings or souvenirs. The art of creating brass products is not an easy task. It is hefty and requires a lot of patience and time to complete each piece. The ancient lost wax method is the most extensive, expensive, and time-intensive method for brassware creation. The outcome product is a whole, fully complete item with exceptionally fine detailing. The initial mold of the object is made from clay, where a wax layer is followed. After this, another layer of clay is applied on top of the wax layer and kept for drying. Once the clay is hardened, the wax is then drained away by melting it, and the liquidated brass metal is poured into the mold. The traditional sand mixture used in this process is a combination of tile dust, stone dust, white clay dust, and is mixed together with kerosene oil and water. The modern sand mixture is made out of silica sand, chromite sand, bentonite, water, and inert sludge. The sand casting method makes the pattern of the object of the brassware in 2 or more pieces where they are joined together later. The pattern of the object is placed inside a wooden frame and is filled with the sand mixture. After ensuring that the sand is tightly placed in the frame using a wooden hammer, it is overturned and another wooden frame is placed on top of it, and once again filled with sand and tightened with the hammer. After this, the 2 wooden frames are separated and the pattern of the object is taken off so that the cavity appears. Then, a hole is made in the pre-formed cavity so that the molten brass can be easily poured to fit it. A powder is then put on the cavity to ensure that once the molten brass is solidified, that it wouldn't stick to the sand. Following this, the wooden frames are placed back together to pour the molten brass in. Raw brass comes to the workshop in slabs. In order to make this molten, it is placed in the crucible or cover in Sinhala, which is already fixed to the furnace. The melting process begins here, where it prepares the metal for casting and is the conversion of solid brass to its liquid state. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc, which is malleable. The colors of brass can be produced by varying the proportion of the two ingredients. Sri Lankan brass is found in the popular golden yellow color. This is then transferred in a ladle to the molding area and poured through to the preformed cavity. After the metal is solidified, the molds are packed to remove the sand off the casting. The next process is called shaping, where stranded brass is cut and shaped accordingly to the original mold. The pieces of the item are then sent for adhering, where they are welded to make it as one unit. After adhering, the item is sent for grinding, where the joints are leveled to create a neat product. This item, then depending if it needs a screw thread, is then put into the lathe machine. The finalized shape of the item is now achieved in the finishing process. After finishing, the product is now sent for decoration, where detailed carvings, motifs, and other additional features to beautify the product is created. Most of these designs are engraved on brass surfaces and not traced beforehand. They are done spontaneously with expertise on their nimble fingers. Finally, the products are polished into making it have its majestic and popular yellow gold color. Brass, being a metal with numerous strengths, is also a metal that is corrosion resistant, with the ability to be converted into different designs and shapes for many applications. It will keep continuing this for the foreseeable future. Brass, unlike other metals, can be recycled and therefore has an endless and continuous supply. The brass industry of Sri Lanka thus will continue to thrive, ensuring that the future generations will cherish these valuable treasures with them in the years to come.